You're listening to Mr. Save a Home, Becoming an Agent Tour. Good day, good people. My name is Navid Moosa. I am your host for Mr. Save a Home, Becoming an Agent Tour. Thanks for joining me. I know there's a lot of podcasts out there and you choose to listen to this one, and I really appreciate that. For your first-time listeners, welcome. And again, thank you very much. For your repeat listeners, welcome back. You get to know that basically I do not like to waste time. I know everyone's time is precious, so let's get right into it. Today, we want to talk about being realistic with your reality. By that, I mean is when you pick to accomplish something in your life, whether it be long-term or short-term, I think something you should always try to think about, at least in my opinion, is what's the reality of it? Like what the reality of you accomplishing this goal is going to be. I'm going to give you a quick story. I had a new agent in the business 6 months, and I mean 6 months as of 2020, kind of 6 months goes. And he, prior to him getting his license, he started investing, so on and so forth. Long story short, he locked up his first investment property. He went ahead, we sat down, and he kind of took some coaching from me, and he locked up his first deal. He didn't think his first deal was actually going to be what it was. He thought it was going to be something else. So he shares his success story, at least locking up the deal, with a friend of his who's also been talking to me as well, but who is not licensed. Next thing you know, his friend comes to me and says, hey, you know what? Honestly, I think I'm going to do this instead of this. And that's fine. But what happened, in at least what I saw in that short period of time, was because his friend was successful in locking up his first investment property, he basically just said, oh, well, since he did it, that's how I make my new goal. I'm going to do it this way now. And so that's not being realistic, right? You set a goal. Now, why did you set that goal? Did you set that because you wanted it? Or you set that goal because someone else made it look lucrative and attractive? And because they accomplished it, all of a sudden, well, hey, that's my boy. If he did it, I'm going to do it too. And that's just not the way it should work. And I know it sounds obvious, right? Well, of course not. Whether we know it or not, though, sometimes most of us, including myself, we may do that, not realizing it. And that's what I'm talking about, being realistic with your reality, is we have a goal, right? Why do we set it? Do we set it for the right reason? Whether you're someone who wants to get into physical fitness, whether you're somebody who wants to buy their first investment or to get their 10th investment or to go change their investing strategy from buying flips to buying long-term rentals or short-term rentals. Why are you choosing that path? Once you answer that, right? We always hear about answer the why. But in this case, yeah. You know, whether you're setting a goal to be in physical fitness, whether you're setting a goal to change your investing strategies from buying flip properties to going to either maybe like a long-term holds, rentals basically, or to short-term rentals, why are you doing that switch? Are you doing it because all of a sudden all these podcasts and all your feeds, your RS feeds, everything is talking about, oh, you know, multifamily is the way to go and this is the way to go. And next thing you know, that's the latest thing. And you're seeing it in your email and in your texts and all these auto feeds that are coming through. You see it so much that we're thinking, oh, okay, we're going to do this. So when I talk about being realistic with your reality is, what is your reality? Right now, you're hearing these stories. You're associating with yourself with people who are just basically going through the motions of some stuff, either by design or not. And we see that and we think, oh, it's real. Look what they're doing is real to me. And it is real. But the path to get there, the reality to get there for them could potentially rather not be your reality. So you have to be realistic with that. And it doesn't mean, that you go into a slum and say, oh, woe is me. That's a shame I can't do it. It just means, okay, maybe that's not for me right now. And I will be the first one to tell you that I've been down that road. With my schedule and the age of my children, it's tough to accomplish certain things because I am responsible for my kids' everything. And so I have to kind of balance out, make sure the school work is done and this after activity is done. I have to make sure everything is handled while still being a parent. So when I hear other people say, oh, we're going to go here to this conference or belong to this mastermind and fly to this convention, as much as I would love to go, I would get not really depressed, but I would get upset. Like, damn, man, I really wish I could go, but I can't because the kids got to get taken care of or they need to have that activity. So I have to make sure that's taken care of. And so a lot of times I can't go. And the mistake I made, and the mistake I don't want you to make, is I used to externalize that. I don't take attention, but I used to externalize being that I was upset that I couldn't do some of these things to help further my investment career because I had to stay back and be a dad. And that's when you say it out loud like that, like I sound like a piece of shit, right? Think about it. Wait a minute. So you know what I mean? Like I couldn't advance in my career because I have to be a father. I mean, that's just selfish as I don't know what. So instead of externalizing it and instead of wallowing in it, just be realistic, saying, okay, I can't accomplish this for these reasons. And then make sure those reasons are legit. They're not excuses, right? That's a different cast for that one we'll talk about. Saying, okay, here's my reality. Here's what the frame I can work in. And so these are the sacrifices I'm willing to make, and these are the sacrifices I'm not willing to make. As long as you can live with that decision, go forward with it. But as long as it's your decision, as long as you're going forward with your decision and you're going forward with your reality. So think about that. Make sure that the path you're going on is a path that you can stick with for a long period of time, not a path that is short-lived or just cut short rather abruptly because you didn't properly lay out your path, because you didn't properly look at your reality. And so understand that's my thought of the day. I apologize for the dings in the background. That was just my watch going off. It's a busy day. It always is. It always will be. But you guys make time to listen to the cast, and I try to do my best to make time to give you content that's worth listening to and hopefully makes you grow mentally, wherever it is. Again, this podcast is really for anybody who wants to grow their mind. That's what it's meant for. Real estate's a platform that I've been given, and I want to take advantage of that. And if I can do whatever I can to make you a better person or a more forward-thinking individual, that's what you want to be. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to follow us. And please, if you think this cast or all the messages we're relaying to you guys on a weekly basis is something worth sharing, please share it. Don't be shy. You know what I mean? And every podcast is saying the same thing, and I'm never going to stop. At least I don't think so anytime soon. So here we go. Say it with me for you repeat listeners. It is never chase the money, always chase the deal, do right by the client, and everything else will fall into place. Take care of yourself, guys.